All right, guys, we're going to start standing. We haven't done standing for a bit, so it's time to start standing today. So I'm starting at one end of my mat, and my feet and my legs, they're probably about 6 inches apart. So they're, a little bit to the outside of my sit bones, but I'm not creating that triangular position with my legs. I'm not too wide. I've got that nice parallel leg position through coming out of the hips. So we're going to stretch nice and tall, nice and long, and I want you to really feel the ground with your feet, with your heels across the foot, through the ball of the foot, and then through the toes. Like even if you want to spread your toes wide so you get a really good sense of the floor and the mat below you. And we're going to roll the shoulders back and down. I like having my hands either at my hips or down by my side because I want to make sure that my back isn't extending or flexing and I'm not creating too much movement in my spine. I'm going to pivot at the ankle and I'm going to hinge forward towards the toes and then kind of rock back onto the heels a bit. So I'm moving my center of gravity, the weight of my body, kind of forward and back, trying to isolate that movement just to the ankle joint. And we're going to roll the shoulders down, we're going to stretch the spine nice and long, and just kind of feel that movement just at the ankle joint. So you can feel how the different muscle groups in the legs, depending on where you are in that sway, change. Like as you sway forward, which muscles activate and turn on to stabilize you, and then as you sway back. We'll do a couple more back and forths. And then we'll pause at center. And I'm going to kind of lean onto my right side, straight across to the right. So I take some of the weight off that left leg and foot, but my foot's still on the floor. And then I come back to center, and I'm going to shift to the left. Your ankle is a circumduction joint, so it's meant to do different planes of movement, circular motions, not just flexion extension like your knee. So just swaying from side to side, and again, trying to isolate that movement just to the ankle, not letting the rest of the body shift and take a different shape as you lean from side to side. A couple more passes from side to side. And we'll pause at center. Arms are going to reach up overhead, stretching towards the ceiling, and we're going to fold and curl. Tuck the tailbone under, we're rounding the back, and we're curling down towards the floor, letting ourselves hang. Arms are reaching for the floor, the crown of your head is dropping to the ground. Roll the shoulders back and down so the neck can stay long, and then we're going to sway forward to the toes and rock back towards the heels. And we sway. And rock back. Nice and smooth. Nice shift from front to back. And then we'll pause at center and we'll shift our body weight to the right leg, across and over to the left. Trying to move at the ankle. You get a little bit of movement at the hip. Feel that stretch change in the calf muscle. And we'll come back to center. Bend the knees forward and hips tuck under, and we curl and roll up, straightening the legs as we curl and roll up. And we reach the arms up nice and long towards the ceiling. Fingers interlace, we turn palms up towards the sky, and chest lifts as we squeeze the glutes and pull our belly to our back. And once again, we're going to forward fold. Curling and rolling down to the mat, letting ourselves hang here at the floor. Drop the head down, draw the shoulders back. And we're going to bend the right knee forward, just the right knee, so you feel that extra stretch alternate those knee bends for that bigger stretch on the straight leg. We're getting movement at the ankle, at the knee, and at the hip. One more bend in the knee each side. Both knees bend, shoulders slide back and down, hips tuck under. We push strong away from the floor with the feet and the legs, and we curl back up. Straight and tall, arms come up towards the ceiling. Our fingers interlace. We go palms to the ceiling. And engaging the glutes, we lift the chest up. And we'll come back to center. Arms will separate and come down by our side. We're going to stand nice and tall, keeping our feet and our legs parallel. Little tuck of the tailbone. We just don't want to push the hips forward as we tuck the hips. And I'm going to track kind of the back and the pelvic position as we lift up off of our heels onto the ball of the foot. We rise. Heels lift. We hold that balance, stretching nice and tall, nice and long, looking straight ahead, trying not to look at the floor. And then slowly we descend back to the mat, lowering the heels slowly. 3, 2, and 1. Reset the spine, reset the shoulders, engage the abdominals and the back as we lift back up off the heels, wading through the ball of the foot, letting the toes spread wide across the mat. You may want to be on a hard surface like the hardwood floor if the mat is too squishy and causing a bit more of a balance issue. And then slowly descend. 3, 2, and 1. Resetting again. Finding that nice long position, and we rise up off of our heels, balancing onto the ball of the foot, straighter, longer legs. Tucking the tail, squeezing the glutes, zipping and knitting up and in. And slow to descend. 3, 2, and 1. One more. Taking that moment to reset, and we rise up off the heels. Trying to stay as tall and as long as we can. Straighter, stronger legs. And slow to lower. 3, 2, and 1. Arms reach up nice and long up overhead, and we're going to fold and curl. Rolling down to the mat, we're going to walk our hands forward out to that center plank. Trying not to sway the body from side to side as we slowly walk the hands forward. Bringing the chest up and over the arms. Nice straight long legs. Good tension at the inner thigh, driving the heels down back behind us. And we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hips go high. We reach the hips back. Slide the shoulders down the back so you don't put so much weight at the hand and the wrist. If your shoulders are up around your neck and your ears, it's going to put a lot of pressure at the hand and at the wrist. Right knee bends for that deeper stretch up the back of the left leg. And right leg straightens, bend that left knee, drive the right heel to the floor. Arms are straight. Feel the shoulders slide down the back as you alternate those knee bends for that deeper stretch on the straighter leg. One more each side. better position. Slight tuck of the tailbone, pull the ribs in, belly's nice and tight, squeeze the glutes, pull in through inner thigh, shoulders down with your neck, your spine long. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hips go back to their high position. And we're going to slowly walk our feet with straight legs forward towards our hands for that inchworm position. Nice and slow. Walking the feet forward. Letting the head hang. Feel that stretch run up the back of the body. And we'll curl up nice and slow. Resetting nice and tall. And we'll step back with that right foot. Right leg steps back. We're in that lunge position. Chest is proud. The spine in the back is nice and long. And we're going to bend that right knee. Lower towards the floor. And then press back up. Straightening that back right leg. We bend. And straighten. Nice and smooth. Find that slow control. One more. And we're going to press both legs straight. Drop that back right heel. Make sure the legs and the feet are as squared off as you can make them. And arms reach forward. We're going to hinge at the hip, flat back, proud chest. And then fold and curl forward out over that front left leg, bringing the hands to the floor. You can bow and drop the head. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to step forward with that right foot, right leg. And straighten the knees, stretch the body nice and long in that forward fold. And next exhale, we curl and restack. Coming up nice and tall, nice and long. And we step back with the left leg. Keeping the back leg straight with the heel up off of the ground. And then we bend that left knee, lowering ourselves down towards the mat, towards the floor. And we press back up. No need to tap the left knee to the mat if you don't want to. You can hover before pressing right back up. Scale that range, scale your movement as much as you need to ensure that you've got good alignment of your upper body, of your back, good stability and engagement in your core. One more. And we'll straighten both legs. Drop that left heel down to the mat. Try to square the feet off. And arms come forward. We hinge at the hip, flat back. Proud chest as we reach forward. And then forward fold, diving forward over that front right leg. Bowing the head. Straightening the legs more. Pressing back as you slide the shoulders down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left leg steps forward to meet the right strong, up away from the mat, away from the floor. Standing up nice and tall, arms reach up for the ceiling. Fingers once again interlace, turn the palms up, and chest lifts into that extension. And we'll reset, bring our arms down by the side. We're going to work into a squat stance. So I'm going to turn my feet and my legs, turn the feet out, the legs out about 5 or 10 degrees, have more of a shoulder width stance with the legs so we can work into those squat movements. For the squat, we want the knees to go forward, centering up with the center of the foot, second, third toe as our hips go back. So we're going to reach the hips back, bend the knees forward, slight little bow of the upper body, so we can keep ear shoulder in that line over the ankle. And then we press up to a straight long back and leg, and we sit and squat back down. Feeling the weight evenly dispersed under the bottom of the foot, from the heels through the ball of the foot to the toes. As we lower our hips, we're going to knit the ribs, pull our belly to our back. Have good bracing through the abdominals, the back extensors to hold that strong neutral spine. Ensuring that the hips go back, that we're not squatting forward, we're not lifting our heels, we're planting and grounding the feet and the legs. 3, 2, and 1. Bringing our feet together, we're going to cross our right leg over our left. So you can have a tight cross of the legs or more space between the thighs. Arms are going to reach forward and we're going to curl and roll down over the legs, hanging for the floor, so we feel that bigger stretch up the back of the left leg along the side of the hip and thigh. And exhale, curl. Restack the back, standing up nice and tall, nice and long. And we'll change that ankle cross. We'll cross left leg over the right, squaring the feet up. Again, you can have them as tightly connected or create some space. And we reach the arms forward and we forward curl and roll. Down to the mat, letting ourselves hang. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slow as you curl back up, pushing away from the floor, nice and strong with your feet and your legs to restack the back. And we're going to square our feet and our legs up. We're in that parallel leg and foot position, and we're going to go for some seated holds. We're going to reach the arms forward, sit back, sit down, and we're going to pause. Ribs and belly knits in tight. Feel the back extensors hold and support our spine for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rising and standing nice and tall. And we sit again. Knees forward, hips back. Sitting down. Check the alignment of your knees so they're not diving in. They're lined up with the center of your foot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pushing up nice and strong. And we sit again. Hips reach back. Feel the weight at the heel, ankle, ball of the foot through the toes. Ribs and abs are knitted in. Good tension in the back. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming up nice and tall. 2 more holds. And we sit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming up. Stretching nice and tall. Try not to collapse too much. And last one, sitting down. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming up nice and tall, nice and strong. Arms come up overhead, fingers interlace. And we're going to reach up and over to the left, opening and stretching along the right side of the rib cage and center. Reach up and over to the right. Try not to twist the upper body, so we keep the shoulder in line with the side of the hip. We're not tipping to the side and then twisting back. We want to keep that side bend nice and clean. Over to the other side. One more each side. And we forward fold, curling down, rolling back to the floor. And we're going to rotate. Walk your hands to the outside of the left foot and leg. And then walk the hands around and over to the outside of the right leg. Moving that stretch as you twist and shift from side to side. Back to center, and then we're going to curl and roll back up. Let's come lying down nice and flat on our backs on our mat. We've got that little gap between the low back and the floor, with knees bent and feet and legs in line with our sit bones. So we're in that little bit more narrow parallel stance. Reaching the arms nice and long down by our side. We're moving into our pelvic curl. We're going to tilt the hips back. Peel and curl up. Bridging and lifting the hips up nice and high. And then slow as you curl and roll along the back. Coming all the way down and through to the tailbone. Arms reach and stretch nice and long. Hips tilt. On that exhale, tilting back. And we curl and roll up. Working that stretch along the spine as we bridge. Good engagement in the glutes to lift the hips. We want to keep the rib flare out of the movement. One more shoulder bridge and pelvic curl. Legs come to tabletop. You can add a chest lift or leave it out. We're going to rest our hands at the side of the knees and fold and lift the head, neck, and chest. We're going to move into our single leg stretch. The right leg reaches out nice and straight and long, and we switch. Reaching farther and straighter with the leg. You can pull the knee in past tabletop as long as you're not adding any flexion to the low back. We want to keep that space, that gap at the small of the back as we alternate our leg extensions. Nice deep fold at the mid-ribs. Slight little tuck of the chin, but we're not craning the head and the neck forward. One more each side. Knees hug in as we drop the shoulders, the head back to the mat. And we'll bring our feet and our legs back towards the floor with knees bent and feet in line with the sit bones. Fingers interlace. We bring our hands behind the head to support the head and the neck as we slide the shoulders down. Forward fold into that chest lift. We pause at the top. Hands come off the head. Reach for the back of the legs. We try to fold and lift a little higher. Hold that extra lift. And then we bring our hands back behind the head, fingers interlace, and we slowly curl back to the floor. Exhale, fold and lift. Hands to the back of the legs. Lift a little higher. Hold that extra chest lift. Hands return to the head and we curl back, slow and controlled. We're trying to create more flexion just below the chest and keep it out of the small of the back. Shoulders are sliding down. We're keeping the collarbone spreading wide so the chest stays open. Last one. Arms reach up overhead without the ribs flaring. And we're going to exhale to bring the arms forward to lift the head, neck, and chest. And slow to reset. Getting that movement of the arm and the shoulder as we drop back for that extra stretch. Trying to keep the tailbone somewhat weighted to the mat so we maintain the space at the small of the back. One more. And arms reach long. Stretching out nice and long overhead, pulling the ribs down. Anchoring the upper back and the hips, the sacrum across the mat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fingers interlace. We bring our hands back behind the head. And we're going to fold and lift, head, neck, and chest. I'm going to twist over to the left through the mid-ribs. And then take the hands off the back of the head, grab the outside of the left leg, and lift a little higher without pushing the knees in or letting them cave in. We hold that extra lift. Hands return behind the head, and then we twist over to the right shoulder blade. Hands come off the head to the side of the right leg, and we lift a little higher to create more flexion, more engagement of the obliques while the hands return to the head, and we twist over to the left side. Working these extra lifts for these chest lifts with rotation. Nice and smooth glide from side to side. And we'll go one more each side. Back to center and slowly curling back to the mat. Arms will come out to a T position, palms up towards the ceiling. We'll bring our legs up to tabletop and cross my right ankle over the left. Twisting only to the right side through the mid-ribs to drop the legs to the right, onto that right hip, and back to center. Moving back to the right, twisting through the mid-ribs and center. Feeling that rotation come just below the chest, across the bra, at the base of the shoulder blades. And we'll pause at center, change the ankle cross, left over right, and rotating only to that left side. Onto the left hip. We're letting the legs fall to the side. One more. And we'll hug the knees in to the chest, uncross the ankles, reach for the toes. Pull the knees down towards the chest, and then out past the shoulders, and pull down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll go feet down to the mat, and we'll turn our legs into that butterfly position for the butterfly stretch. Soles of the feet together with the knees and the legs falling out to the side. You can always prop the side of the legs if that external rotation, that turnout is too much. If it's still too much, just stay parallel legs with your feet down on the mat. Arms reach up overhead, and exhale, arms glide forward. We lift the head, neck, and chest, reaching forward between the knees, and slow for the reset. Feel the weight evenly pressing from hip to hip. Last 2. And slow to unwind and reset. We'll take our right leg, cross it over our left. We'll work into our figure 4 stretch, bringing the left leg up to tabletop. Reach through, grab the back of the left leg. Arching the low back so we create some space to isolate that stretch into the right hip. Collarbone spreads wide. We knit the rib cage in. We draw the belly to our back. And we'll switch sides. Right foot down with a bent knee. We cross that left ankle, left leg over the right thigh. We pick that right leg up to tabletop and then create that space, that gap at the small of the back. the legs out across the mat. Arms reach up to the ceiling over the chest. And we'll lower the arms as we lift the head, neck, and chest, and then exhale to curl and roll up and stretch forward out nice and long over the legs, rounding the back. You could transition into a flat back position if you want to stay out of the flexed low back. Shoulders down, neck is long. And hands release, and we'll curl and roll back to the mat piece by piece. Keeping strong legs straight, reaching out across the mat. Bring the arms up overhead this time, and arms flow forward, chin to chest, forward fold, and we curl and we roll up, stretching and reaching out nice and long over the legs. Try not to over shrug the shoulders. They will be elevated with your arms reaching up. And exhale, curling back. Slide the shoulders down. Don't let the head crane too far forward as we curl and roll back, trying to find each piece of the back to segment and imprint down against your mat. And we reach out. Curling back. Reaching out nice and long overhead, stretching long. And we'll bring our right knee in towards the chest. Find that little gap at the small of the back. Pull the right knee out towards the right shoulder. And then we'll take that right leg cross body, rotating through the mid-ribs. Right arm reaches out to the right. Look out over that shoulder and arm. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slow to unwind. We'll extend that right leg out. Hug the left knee in towards the chest. Create the space between the low back and your floor. And then that left knee pulls out towards that left shoulder. And left leg comes cross body over towards that right shoulder. Left arm opens out to a T. Look out over the left arm and shoulder. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slow to unwind. We'll bend both knees, hug the knees in towards the chest. And then we'll reach for the back of the thighs, fold at the mid-ribs to curl up part way, and then we're going to curl up, float for that teaser prep position. Roll the shoulders back, lean back just a little bit to create that nice V position with your body. And arms come off the legs, and we hold strong for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Feet down, butterfly, stretch soles of the feet together, knees fall out, and we hinge or roll forward over the legs. And exhale, curl and restack the back, sitting up nice and tall. Chest lifts up for the ceiling, nice thoracic extension. Sitting tall with the shoulders down, we drop right ear to right shoulder to stretch the left side of the neck. Don't let the body shift, only let the head fall to the side. And head goes to the left ear to the left shoulder. Drop the right shoulder, both shoulders down. and back to the right. Leaning your head towards your shoulder to the right side. And over to the left. Drop the head down. We'll circle over to the right and back. Create a full circle without over shrugging the shoulders. And we'll change directions. Shoulders down, chest proud. One more. And we sit tall and arms rest by your side. All right, guys, great work today. Thank you so much.